Law and Friends, a weekly podcast brought to you by Meldon Law, a law firm with its primary office in Gainesville and covering the entire state of Florida, with an office in South Florida covering Miami-Dade County through Broward County all the way up through Palm Beach County, and also in Marion County, where we not only have been for 43 years, but this man, Jeffrey Meldon, is going to be hosting a grand opening event coming up on June 16th, and that's quite a thing we got going on.
Yeah, we're really excited about it, Chris. Not only are we going to have food and drink, but we're going to have all the dignitaries from Ocala, including the mayor, and we're going to have the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, joining us for our grand opening. So we want to welcome everybody to come. It's Wednesday, June 16th, 4:30 to 7. It's open to the general public. We want everybody in the community, whether you're from Marion County, Alachua County. It's 1326 South Pine Avenue, right across from the Advent Hospital, actually both hospitals. And we want to invite everybody. And we found out just yesterday that we're having a special guest. Albert and Alberta are going to be joining us. So if you want to bring the kids, we're going to be able to have photo ops so they can hang out with our favorite characters, Albert and Alberta, and take some pictures.
I've already had some people call me about it. They heard us talk about it. You weren't here this weekend. You had a much-deserved break up in Amelia Island. And Bob Ganzak and I did the radio show on Saturday, and I've already had a couple of people call and tell me they heard us talk about Spurrier appearing. So it'll be quite an event, but like Jeffrey said, open to the public, don't need an invitation. Whether you're a client, whether you're a friend, or maybe you're just somebody who's been listening to the radio show, watching our podcast, we want you there.
Yeah, we're inviting you right now.
We're inviting you right now, 4:30 to 6:30 on Wednesday the 16th. We got some great guests. I want to get right to them. And to my left are two gentlemen who are involved in an organization called Florida Rising Stars Foundation. It's a new nonprofit. I'm going to let them tell you all about it. First, to my far left, Mr. Jan Richards, who is the founder and president of the organization, and Wayne Hogan, the executive director. Guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Well, dive in. Tell us about the Florida Rising Stars Foundation and what it's all about.
Well, I appreciate, first of all, you having us here today. This is quite an honor to be up here with such an esteemed group. Thank you so much.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes, absolutely.
It delivered as such. Yes, sir. No, we're really excited to be here to share a little bit of information about our organization. Within the last year, we have put together an organization we think is unique on the sports camp landscape. What we are is we run a series of camps. We call them experiences because they're more than just sports camps. Sports camps many times are a dime a dozen. You can go to almost any camp on any weekend. But our organization is going to do something that I don't know if anyone else is doing, and that is we have a component to our camp in which we are teaching high school aged kids about careers in sports off the field.
Wow. Okay.
So we have a component of younger kids that are middle school age that are going to be competing in sports like football and like soccer on the field. But at the same time, we've got the more experienced high school age kids inside the classroom, and we're talking about careers that you can get involved in if you want to be part of sports, but you're not a great athlete. You know you're not going to play in the NFL. You know you're not going to play in the NBA. You know, like the four of us.
Right.
Then this is a great way to get a head start on how do you stay in sports and how do you get involved in the sports careers.
Well,
so we're really excited about that.
For those who don't know this gentleman to my left, certainly both of you have a long history in the sports business, so you certainly have the qualifications and experience to talk about those careers. Wayne, you were for 17 years the sports information director at Florida State. Jan, I know you also have a lengthy career in sports and media.
Yeah, I had a video production company in Orlando, and we specialized in sports. We were the official video company of Florida Citrus Sports.
Okay.
And of the Orlando Magic, and have covered sports, radio, television, you name it, for 30-plus years.
So how did this whole idea of Florida Rising Stars Foundation come about? Did you guys just, sitting around one day and say, let's start this thing?
Actually, I met Wayne when we both worked at Florida Sports Hall of Fame. They brought me on to sell to create a membership program, similar to the USGA, that type of thing, different levels of membership. And as time went on, I got more and more attracted to kids, where we would go out and we sponsored all 125 kids that went to the Citrus Bowl summer camp in 2019. With the help of Freddie Wiebe, we took 88 kids and 12 chaperones to the Florida Vanderbilt game. Long story short, I started going in that direction. It's very hard to say no to a kid. Would you like to sponsor, a few kids? 2020 came with the pandemic, and Florida Sports Hall of Fame, being an event-driven organization, kind of shut down because we couldn't assemble, we couldn't do anything. So I left the organization and told them that I was taking this idea with me, being that I had developed it anyways. Interesting, I called Wayne to become an ambassador, and he asked me what he was being an ambassador of. And as I told him, he said, well, let me think about it for a couple of days. And a couple of days later, we talked, and he said he would like to get involved. So that's how it developed. And we've taken it quite a ways since then.
So this this idea came up about a year ago? You started putting
2018, actually.
Oh, 2018.
Yeah.
But this past year is when you really activated
This is when I
it.
split off and we became our own 501c3, and, we're our own organization now.
What's amazing to me is that my kids were in athletics growing up, and they went to sports camps and stuff like that. But this is really different because there aren't any other organizations that are showing young people what the opportunities are in the sports industry.
Right. One thing I would tell you, Jeff, I was in college athletics for 35 years. And I can't tell you the number of kids that came into my office that were college kids. Now, these kids many of them were seniors in college. And they would come into my office and they would say, hey, I'm graduating here in 3 months, and I really want to work in sports. I want to do what you're doing. How do I do this? How do I get a job like yours? And the first thing I would say is, well, where have you been for the last 4 years? Because this is something you need to start to cultivate early. You just don't graduate from college and then go out and get a big job in an athletic program. You've got to start from the bottom and work your way up, like every other industry, pretty much every other industry. So this is a way to give these kids like a heads up. If you're interested in this, here are the skills you're going to need. Here are the ways you're going to need to get your foot in the door. How do you develop a network? How do you develop all of the things that it takes to work in this industry? And so now they have this knowledge at a much younger age, and they're not just walking in thinking they're going to get a $100,000 a year job coming out the door.
You know what else is amazing? Just think of the growth of the sports industry with ESPN and, the SEC Network and ESPNU and all these different jobs that people have opportunities now. 35, 40 years ago, they didn't have the opportunities that they have now.
Well, just look at the staff alignment for a professional team, any kind, football, baseball team. You go through all of the people on the staff, and there's hundreds. There are hundreds of jobs.
Yeah.
Look at the staff at the University of Florida Athletics, for example. Go through that list. All these people are having great lives. They're accomplishing great things, and they're involved in sports. You don't have to be an NFL player. You don't have to be in the NBA to have a great life in sports.
And you can have a longer career.
That's true, without injuries.
Much longer.
I want to remind our viewers, I normally say this at the beginning, I'm going to say it now. We are live on Facebook Live, so if you have any questions for our guests, for Jan Richard, for Wayne Hogan from Florida Rising Stars Foundation, or for this man, Jeffrey Meldon, please type them in the comments section on Facebook Live. All you have to do is type your question, and we will answer it. That's what we do. Ask us anything, within reason. So you didn't know that, did you, that we were going to be taking live questions?
I like that, within reason.
Within reason. That's a lawyer term. So by all means, please, those of you who have typed in questions in the past, we love it. Please type us your question, whatever it may be. Maybe you know somebody. Maybe you want to work in the sports industry. You want to hear more things about this fine organization. Please let us know and ask a question. Guys, I know a major part of what you do, and you talked about it a little bit, is that you serve also underprivileged communities. It's just not something that the rich kids can do. It's something that you're making available to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, our goal is to 75% of the kids that come to these camps, we would like to be able to send them free of charge.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we work with Boys and Girls Clubs and Big Brothers and Big Sisters and, you know, so on and so forth. And these are the kids that sometimes fall through the cracks.
Exactly.
And they don't have the opportunities. And again, you know, you were talking before about the jobs in the sports industry. 93% of the jobs in the sports industry have nothing to do with being on the field. And there are parts of the industry, i.e. social media, that 6 years ago weren't even a part of the sports industry. So it's an evolving, you know, we're going to touch on areas like sports marketing and sports management, sports medicine, broadcast and journalism, and officiating to go along with the on-field activities. So
Well, that's amazing. We're the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators right now. So I follow FloridaGators.com, and just to do that one job, they probably have 10 people working on that website, right? And it's like, you know, and that didn't exist, you know, 15 years ago. And so I'm blown away by the quality of their reporting and keeping up with everything. And so I get what you know, where you're going. And the other thing is you're bringing people in who might not have the opportunity for a long career because maybe they get into college and that's the end. Maybe they don't even, you know, make the team or start the team. There's no way they're going to go to a professional level, which actually is what, 99% of the people
Right.
that are involved in high school sports. It's probably 1 out of 1,000 or maybe 1 out of 5,000 get to the professional level. And when you get to the college level, maybe 1 out of 100 get to the professional level. And it's amazing that you're opening doors for people that have a strong interest in sports.
We have a Facebook question, and the question is, who are some of your ambassadors or supporters?
this was basically started again, the two top people that we have on our list is, of course, Coach Spurrier and Coach Bowden. And Danny Warfel is one of our ambassadors. From a different sport, Wade Boggs, Johnny Damon.
Sure.
Mark Richt, who worked with Wayne up at Florida State. Jeff Cardoza from WRUF, of course. Shane Matthews, Scott Brantley, and Elaine Larson, who is a fascinating lady. Elaine Larson is a jet car pilot. One of these ladies, one of these people that goes 0 to 300 in 6 seconds.
Wow.
And she is fascinating.
That's a great point, because this isn't just for guys.
No,
this
no,
is for
no.
everybody.
No, and we're up to 63 ambassadors right now all over the country, and we're adding more every day.
So when, I understand July 10th is a big day. You want to talk about that?
Yes, that's when we're gonna have our actual first camp. We've been planning this for really about a year now. And COVID set us back a bit, as you might imagine, being able to get together with kids and have a camp. But our date to come to Gainesville for a camp is July the 10th. We're looking very excited about that. We're going to be here before then, however, which I think is even more of a special date, and it's right near your date. It's the day after. Ours is the 17th of June. Thursday night, the night after your big party, if there's still anybody left standing.
We'll see.
On
that note,
yes,
we're going to have to take a break. So that's part of my job.
But we're going to come back.
We're going to come back to that.
That's the tease. We're coming back.
That's the tease. We're coming back, and we'll be talking all about their big event on the 17th of June, their first camp on July 10th. We've got Jan Richard. We've got Wayne Hogan from Florida Rising Stars Foundation. I want to remind everybody on our second half of the program, also a sports theme, we're going to be talking about the Meldon Law Scholar Athlete Program, and you don't want to miss that. We'll be announcing, in fact, the Meldon Law Scholar Athletes of the Year. So stick around for the second half. You're watching episode 31 of Meldon Law and Friends. We'll be right back.
The Meldon Law Firm from the beginning has been built on giving back to the community. I enjoy coming to work as much today as I did in 1971 when I opened my practice. I don't look at this as a job. I look at it as serving other people. While we're alive, what better feeling can you achieve than knowing that you've helped other people and thereby you enrich your own life? The Gator Nation will be the first to tell you that in all kinds of weather, we all stick together, which is why Meldon Law is honored to be the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We hope you never find yourself the victim of a serious accident, but if you do, our team is here for you. Gators won't back down from a fight, and neither do we.
I was driving behind a lady, and very suddenly she moved out of the way. There was a log laying in the road, and when I hit my brakes, I went on top of the log. I had 280 discs. I just haven't been the same since. Jeffrey Meldon fought for me all the way. Him and his team really went there for me. Throughout the whole lawsuit, he made sure that my bills was paid. It was never no whenever I called him and asked him for something.
When you're a member of the Gator Nation, you know what it means to never back down. Meldon Law has been a proud supporter of the Gator Nation since 1971. Two forces that won't back down. As the old saying goes, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Hello and welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. Today is May 25th, 2021. This is episode 31. Jeffrey, I'll tell you what, back in November, if you'd have told me we'd have 31 episodes in the can, I would have said, nah, but here we are, still going strong.
You know, I look forward to Tuesdays.
Me too.
You know, it's really been exciting. We're meeting great people within the community, great folks from all over. And we've had both sports stars, community stars, people from all kinds of different organizations. And I want to thank Jan and Wayne for joining us today, because this is a fabulous concept that you've come up with, and it's unique. And that's the thing that I really am amazed.
Thank you.
I want to mention also, before we get back to our two great guests, that in the second half, we have got Kevin Wells, the sports director for TV20, WCJB here in Gainesville. Kevin and Jeffrey are going to be talking about the Meldon Law TV20 Scholar Athletes of the Year. We will be announcing in the second half of our show the actual winners. So this is going to be a huge program. It's a sports theme, also very much a philanthropic sports theme, because everything we're talking about today, certainly in the first half and in the second half, deals with things that are being done for student athletes throughout the state of Florida. To that end, I want to flip back to our two guests, Wayne and Jan. We were talking about these events you have coming up. Let's start with the one that's coming up the day after our Marion County grand opening. You guys have an event on June 17th.
We do, and we're just tickled to death to be able to hold this event at Spurrier's. You know, Coach Spurrier, the head ball coach, has been great to our organization. He really has, since the very beginning. He's been a very big fan of what we're doing. Even me, an old FSU guy.
That's okay.
Coach Spurrier and I have become tremendously close during this
Sure.
process as we've talked through these ideas and ways we can advance what we're trying to do. And so Jan and I can't thank the head ball coach enough. Freddie Wiebe and him have been kind enough to allow us to have an event at Spurrier's. It's a VIP event. It's going to be on the 17th.
It's at the new restaurant,
At the new
Spurrier's
restaurant.
Gridiron Grill.
You got it. And it's going to be very exciting. We'll have a live, not a live, but a silent auction that night. We'll have raffles. We'll have many ways to get involved with the Florida Rising Stars project.
Well, if I know the head ball coach, I expect there will be some good-natured teasing, perhaps, about FSU, but all in good fun.
Always, always. He never misses an opportunity, let me tell you.
So, excuse me, Chris, I just wanted to go over this again. Thursday, June 17th at 6 p.m. at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is the big fundraising event for the Florida Rising Stars. And if people want to attend, what do they have to do?
They have to be invited.
Okay.
How do you get invited?
But
Seriously, we do have a VIP list, and we're working with some folks, and it's limited. There's a limited number of opportunities.
Okay.
They've been nice to us, but they haven't been nice enough to tell us we can take the entire restaurant for the entire night. So we're going to work with what they've given us.
Mr. Wiebe
but,
has an in there, so maybe he
well,
can
let
help.
me ask you this. If people want to get involved with Florida Rising Stars and donate money to help this very worthy organization, how do they go about doing that?
Easy peasy. FloridaRisingStars.com. FloridaRisingStars.com. You can go onto our website. We have a GoFundMe account. We have ways to donate. We have ways to learn more about our organization. We have testimonials from some of our ambassadors that we've talked about. We're just tickled to death, and I don't want to take up too much time, but this ambassador list is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And what it means, Jeffrey, it means that these people have all read about what we're doing. They've seen the concept. They've seen the ideas. They know who's involved, and they are kind enough to give us their endorsement. It's not easy to get a lot of these major superstars like Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden and Mark Richt and Vince Dooley and Johnny Damon and Wade Boggs, and I could go on. But they don't just give their endorsements out
I
very
know
easily.
that. When I look at the list, I looked at the list this morning and I was blown away that you have created credibility for your organization
Definitely.
because
Thank
of
you.
the superstars that you've gotten behind your team.
We believe so, and I got to give my buddy Jan much of the credit, if not all of the credit, because he began to put this group together. And again, it's not just as easy to call them up and say, "Can we use your name?" They're not going to do that. They want to know what you're doing. What exactly are you involved in? And when they learn about it to a person, they think it's a great idea.
Well, that's a testament to the two of you because you had credibility with the folks you reached out to. And like you say, it's not easy to get their endorsement, so they must have really been blown away by the project that you were putting together, the organization, and the fact that you're helping the people that need the most help, I think is a testament to your good intentions in putting all this together.
We have a question, a Facebook question, and again, want to encourage everybody out there watching to please type your question in the comments section, and we'll do our best to get to it. The first question is, what curriculums are the best to encourage young people to get into if they want to be in sports today?
That's a very good question, and I would say that my feeling would be you get into things like journalism, media relations, you get into the areas of for example, sports medicine. These high school, a lot of broadcasting opportunities in high schools these days. They're doing a lot of broadcasting of high school sports. So think about all of the careers that are in the sports industry that you can get a head start on while you're still in high school. So those would be, the journalism, the broadcasting. Also, Jan mentioned it earlier. Social media and marketing is just taking off like crazy. You said exactly how many people are working on that Gators website. How many people work on their social media every day? So the great thing about the young kids now in high school and even in middle school and beyond, they do this like it's second nature. They're on their phones all day long, and they're posting, and they're on every
how they do the
platform
thing with the
that-
thumbs.
Hey, my granddaughter's 4 years old, and she's doing that stuff.
Yeah. Well, you think about this, and you think about taking that, which they look at now as something fun, and this is and say you could make a career doing this. What if you got paid to do this? And seriously, that's where we're going with this. It's about economic assistance.
Sure.
It's about these kids being able to make money, do something they love, have a great life, and I'm a testament to that. I got in the sports industry very early on. When I was in high school, in fact, I was writing for the school paper and doing all those kinds of things. But it created a whole career of fun and a job that I absolutely loved. And, I'd like to see other kids be able to get into that kind of thing.
So we got a couple more questions starting to roll in. Who teaches your camps? Is it people working in the field that they're teaching?
Yeah, actually, we have a very good relationship with Florida Athletic Coaches Association, which is the high school coaches in the state of Florida, the organization that they all belong to. So as far as the on-field activities, that will be handled by some of the best high school coaches. Okay. Coach John Wilkinson comes to mind, who is the head coach at right now New Smyrna Beach, but he was at Cocoa Beach. He is basically considered one of the best high school coaches in the state of Florida. His record is like 172-30.
Wow.
And he's got 4 championships.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he and Coach Spurrier oversee the football, and we've got soccer people that are. And as far as the in-classroom, Bill Patrick, who for many years worked at ESPN and NBC
Sure,
Sports,
I remember Bill
30
Patrick.
plus years.
Yeah.
He's overseeing the broadcast and journalism.
Wow.
Scott Anderson, 49 years in sports medicine, just recently retired and has pretty much dedicated himself to us. We'll be handling that side of it. We've got Adam Bates, who is for 25 years has lived officiating, and sports marketing and management. Who better than this guy?
Who better than this guy?
35 years in the
He's
business
gonna
at
put me
major
to work.
colleges.
So,
Now you're going to have a real job.
That's right.
so another question, how do I register my son to attend your Gainesville camp, and where will the camp be?
You'll be able to do that online at www.floridarisinstars.com. There'll be a registration form on there. It's not live right now, but it will be live. In fact, we're visiting sites this afternoon for the actual location of our July 10th camp. So we've got some great options, and as soon as we have that locked down, we'll have a registration form online. And you can do that at our website.
Guys, we've only got a couple of minutes. My producer's giving me a little bit of a nudge, so I want to get a couple of quick things in. The camp in Gainesville, are the participants actually going to play sports?
Middle school age kids can go out on the field. They will be receiving instruction, and the boys will get football instruction. The girls will get soccer.
Wow.
And again, it's for middle school age kids, 8, 9, 10. Excuse me.
6, 7, and
6,
8.
7, and 8. And 9 through 12 will be the indoor part. The high school kids will get the indoor
When you say 9 through
instruction.
12, you mean grade 9 through 12?
Grade 9 through 12, yes.
Okay,
So-
well, that's going to be really exciting. So for you, this is going to be your first camp here.
The first camp will be right here.
Well, that's
The
exciting.
inaugural camp right here. in
You know,
Gainesville.
it's going to be so cool. So July 10th, and it's going to be right here in Gainesville, FloridaRisingStars.com. And that's how you get all the information about what y'all are doing.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, guys, I'm just so happy that we've had you on the show. I think what you're doing is wonderful. And one point we talked about during the break is that you're looking to expand in other cities. You're already talking Orlando, Tallahassee, South Florida, correct?
South Florida, Jacksonville. So this year we're just we're Tampa Bay, Orlando, Gainesville and Tallahassee. And next year, we're looking at Jacksonville, Daytona Beach, and South Florida.
Okay.
So,
Is there a phone number people can call?
yeah, you can, it's on the website, both of our are on
Okay,
the
all
website.
right, so just
but-
go to the website, www.floridarisingstars.com. Again, I want to thank these two gentlemen, Wayne Hogan, the Executive Director, Jan Richard, the founder and President of Florida Rising Stars. We've got a great second half of the show coming up with Kevin Wells, the Sports Director from WCJB TV 20. He and Jeffrey will be talking about our Scholar Athletes of the Year. And Jeffrey, I know on behalf of the firm, we want to thank everybody who participated in registering for tickets for all the games we've been doing in the spring with the university, and we may have some more.
Yes, we have Lady Gators softball this coming weekend. It's a huge super regional. We're playing Georgia Friday at 5 and Saturday and Sunday at 12. So go to meldonlaw.com. On the homepage at the top, you'll see a red bar, enter the contest.
We'll have more information about that in days to come. I don't think they're quite ready to put it up, but we will have something. So
It's coming.
Just it's coming. Take a look at the website. Again, you're watching Meldon Law Friends. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. We'll be right back with a great second half.
When you're a member of the Gator Nation, you know what it means to never back down. Meldon Law has been a proud supporter of the Gator Nation since 1971. Two forces that won't back down. As the old saying goes, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. Aching muscles lie still in rebellion, pretending not to hear your brain commanding them to move. A legion of voices are shouting their unanimous permission for you to hit the snooze button and go back to dreamland. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance, a voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind. For what is each day but a series of conflicts between the right way and the easy way? 10,000 streams fan out like a river delta before you, each one promising the path of least resistance. Thing is, you're headed upstream. All you have to do is pick up your feet.
Adversity will come, and when it does, it will work to divide you and weaken unity that is so necessary for success.
Helping people is much more important than making money. Who you are as a person is much more important than what you do.
But you got to figure out what kind of a leader do you want to be, or how do you go about being a leader.
That's what you should do. You should play by the rules.
The Gator Nation will be the first to tell you that in all kinds of weather, we all stick together, which is why Meldon Law is honored to be the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We hope you never find yourself the victim of a serious accident, but if you do, our team is here for you. Gators won't back down from a fight, and neither do we.
Well, I was in a truck accident. Because of the accident, I've resulted in 3 back surgeries. We saw advertisements on TV, and guess who popped up more often than not? It was Jeffrey. The communication that he provided was so appreciative. He shows his compassion as a human. He assisted us in achieving one of our dreams, the acquisition of a home. And we're here today with smiles on our face with the assistance from Jeffrey.
Hello and welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. Today is Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. As we told you during the first half of today's show, we have Kevin Wells, the sports director of WCJB. But before we get into anything else, let's address the most important thing. How are the Gators doing?
All right, so here's an in-game update according to my phone. It's 4-1 Gators, bottom of the 8th inning, bases loaded, 2 outs. This is round. This is
for us or Kentucky.
For the Gators, yeah. So this is round 1 of the SEC tournament. Round 1, single elimination. Got to win this one to advance. So things are looking good for the Gators right now. Jacob Young led off the game with a home run, so that's a good way to start the SEC tournament.
Boy, hasn't he had an incredible year?
Amazing. Had that 30-game hitting streak that spanned 3 different seasons, which is
wow.
That's about as unbreakable a record as there is. So
yeah, he has been amazing, and I've really gone to more Gator baseball games this year than I've ever gone to.
Yeah, that facility's first rate.
Isn't that incredible?
Oh yeah, so do you get in that fancy box up there where the...
Well, I usually send someone else and they have us stand on the side, but for now, because of the distancing, those were the rules this year.
But what a nice facility.
Year, yeah.
I mean, that's got to be as nice a baseball facility as there is in college sports.
No question about it. And I think you saw a lot of teams progress and expand their toys, if you will, over the last 10 years, and this is Florida's answer. So we'll see what happens in recruiting going ahead.
Well, great. Well, I want to welcome you. Over the years, you've been a huge supporter of the Meldon Law TV 20 Scholar Athlete of the Week and Scholar Athlete of the Year program, and I know that you've really gotten behind it, and the whole team at TV 20 has just been incredible as far as their energy that they put behind the program. So I want to thank you.
Well, thank you. The respect and feeling is mutual. It's fun to be a part of something like this. It goes back to next year's the 25th anniversary season of the Meldon Law TV 20 Scholar Athlete program, and yeah, I've been doing this in television 20 years, not in Gainesville necessarily. It's my 3rd, but to be a part of a program that predates the start of my career it seems like it's pretty long. Yeah. So there's generations involved, and it's very communal, and people in Gainesville and the surrounding areas know all about it. It's no difficulty at all to have recommendations, which is what we do rely on. The nominations, the athletes have to be called in or emailed in. We can't just select who we want, but it's no issue at all getting people to submit nominees. It's well known.
Kevin, it's unique because we watch pro sports on TV and college sports, but when it comes to families being involved in sports, high school sports is far and away the biggest deal in the area.
One of the things I like about this is you're profiling people and you're talking to people who are on their way up in life, high schoolers, and so it's really fun to hear their stories, even though they're young. Hear their stories about how they manage everything, the time constraints that come with being a high school athlete, especially a really good one. All the dedication that goes in. A lot of them are involved in clubs outside of sports, might have a class president here and there, and their GPAs are always high. Some of them are well above 4.0, and they're all very accomplished as well. So you're getting people who are, it's fun to profile those people. And it's also great for the audience to see if you're even a younger athlete watching those, well, if it works out for that person, it can work out for me. And so there's all kinds of benefits that I can see to this.
What I've found over the years, because I hear back from a lot of our scholar athletes from the 1990s and 2000s, and one scholar athlete in particular contacted me, and she'd become a principal at a high school, and was doing a big commemoration for it, and I sent in a video speech congratulating her, and I was going, wow, that is really cool that the future leaders of our community are coming out of the TV20 Meldon Law Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Yeah,
program.
you don't have to go pro. I mean, some did, like Freddie Swain's in the NFL now.
He's done pretty well.
He's done
Well,
pretty
you know,
Quite a few
well,
others.
yeah, it's C.J. Spiller.
Yeah, C.J. Spiller.
Andrew Miller, who is
Okay.
one heck of a pitcher.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Cornelius Ingram from
Yeah.
Hawthorne. And
I remember
so-
seeing Nia Johnson come back and coach another school. She's from P.K. Young and now coaches Buchholz after going to Baylor and being Scholar Athlete
Yeah,
of the Year.
she was
So-
on that Baylor team that was
yeah.
incredible.
Incredible, yeah.
We actually have a question and want to remind everybody, if you're watching us, to please type your questions on Facebook Live, either for Kevin Wells or for Jeffrey Meldon. And we have a question from Tabitha Miller. Hey, Kevin, I have a question. How do you win the Scholar Athlete of the Week or Scholar Athlete of the Year?
Yeah, so athletes are nominated by somebody that they know, whether it be their parent, their coach, their teacher, their brother. It could be somebody. It's not somebody that we just go out and select and seek out. So you can email us. That information's all over our web pages. Myself and Chris Pinson, who's actually the face of our Scholar Athlete, TV20 Meldon Law Scholar Athlete of the Week weekly feature. He does the actual work and produces and puts his voice on the actual weekly features. So that's how you get nominated as a weekly winner. And yeah, most of the people who get nominated are ultimately selected, really.
Sure.
So it's that we do it across the school year. Usually start in early September and we end it in early.
And it's all sports. It's not just the football and basketball. It's track and field. It's everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Across all different seasons as well. Soccer, you mentioned, and we had a lacrosse player, a water polo player this year. Not this year, but the previous school year, we had a cheerleader, a competitive cheerleader profile.
Jeffrey, let me toss this to you. Maybe for the benefit of viewers or listeners who aren't familiar with the program, maybe explain a little bit about the history, why you started it and how it's evolved.
In 1997, I was advertising on the WRUF 850 radio station, and there was a fellow named Larry Vittel who was very well known in the community that had a program from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock every afternoon. And our good friend Barry Sides was selling advertising at that time. And we got together one afternoon and we were talking about what could we do special to honor some of the incredible athletes in the community. And we came up with this idea of a Scholar Athlete program. We started out one male, one female Scholar Athlete of the month. And then at the end of the year, we said, well, let's do something.
Yeah.
So we had a dinner at some restaurant that's torn down now that the CVS at Archer Road and 34th Street is at. And we had this really good time. And it expanded. And then a couple years later, we wound up getting a call from TV20 who said, well, we have an opening. And I said, TV,
right.
that sounds like a good idea.
There you go, get it on TV.
So sometime around 1999 or 2000, we went on to, we partnered up with TV20 for our Scholar Athlete of the Year program. And it has just taken off since then because TV20 has this huge reach. You guys are the news in North Central Florida. You know that. I mean, there's nobody that comes close to TV20.
Well, we broadcast to like 6 different counties. So, I mean, we claim about 32 to 35 high schools. And you mentioned how diverse the sports were that we profiled. I mean, the schools as well. I mean, we went to Westport in Ocala. We went to Columbia High School. I believe there was a Trenton athlete this year, Keystone Heights, Hawthorne, and of course within Gainesville too.
Kavarius Hayes from Swanee was
he won it, yeah.
He won it a few years
Live
back.
Oak, yeah, way up.
And so we try to recognize great talent coming out of high school. Talent we're talking about not only on the field but in the classroom, and that's a rare combination. When you find somebody that does both of that, and without exception, they're also leaders off the court as well.
We have a follow-up question, Jeffrey. What do the weekly winners receive, and then the athletes, Scholar Athletes of the Year? What do they receive?
So every week we give a $100 scholarship plus a very nice plaque commemorating what they did with their name on it and the sport and the month that they won it. And then at the end of the year, we get everybody together. We've been getting together at the Hilton Hotel for the last 8 or 9 years and doing a huge banquet with 150 or 200 people there, friends, families, coaches, the winners.
Event.
And we then introduce each Scholar Athlete of the Week one by one through the program. And at the end of the program, we select one male, one female Scholar Athlete of the Year, and we present them with an additional $1,000 scholarship plus a beautiful glass trophy. So we have a copy of the glass trophy.
Do we want to announce, or we want to save that for after the break?
We're going to save that for after the break, Chris, because
all right.
We want everybody. We want to really celebrate the winners.
We do. We've got 2 outstanding recipients that these 2 guys will talk about after the break. We want to remind everyone you are watching Meldon Law and Friends. We are a statewide law firm. Our primary office is in Gainesville. Our primary practice areas are personal injury law, meaning that we represent victims of major truck crashes, motor vehicle collisions, slip and fall accidents, animal bites, any situation where someone is injured, their life turned upside down due to the negligence or carelessness of another. Please give us a call anytime, toll free, no charge for an initial consultation at 1-800-373-8000. We also handle criminal defense matters, including DUI defense. And whatever the question is, quite frankly, this guy knows everyone. So even if it's something outside those areas, we'll do our best to steer you in the right direction. Take a look at our website, www.meldonlaw.com. Again, we will be back for our 4th and final segment today to announce the winners of the Scholar Athletes of the Year for TV20 and Meldon Law. Thank you so much for being a part of this program, whether you're watching it or listening to it on 39 audio platforms. We will be right back.
When you're a member of the Gator Nation, you know what it means to never back down. Meldon Law has been a proud supporter of the Gator Nation since 1971. 2 forces that won't back down. As the old saying goes, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. The Gator Nation will be the first to tell you that in all kinds of weather, we all stick together, which is why Meldon Law is honored to be the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We hope you never find yourself the victim of a serious accident, but if you do, our team is here for you. Gators won't back down from a fight, and neither do we.
Hello and welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. Today is Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. We thank you if you're watching this live. If you only caught a little bit of the show live, you want to watch it later, it'll remain on the Meldon Law Facebook page, and it also will be archived on the Meldon Law YouTube page, along with all other 30 episodes we have that we've been doing since November. So please know how much we appreciate your involvement. If you have a question, you want to type in a question on the comments section of Facebook Live, please do so for our guest, either for Kevin Wells or for Jeffrey Meldon. But Kevin, we have an update on the baseball game, live from TV20.
All right, so
what do you have to tell us?
Yeah, so the Gators just won 4-1 over Kentucky. They're going to the next round of the SEC tournament. They'll face Mississippi State tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's exciting. So this is the SEC tournament. We have a chance to redeem ourselves after the Arkansas
series. My goodness, especially that Friday night game where it just slipped away. They could have certainly won at least one of those.
Yeah, that was a tough weekend. However, the Gators have had a really good season with inaugurating the new stadium, and we've been excited for all their success.
There's a lot of parity. It's just, in the SEC, we've always known that in football and in basketball. It just seems like in baseball now.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
many teams are good.
The Gators are ranked, I think, 13th nationally this week. They're the number 6 seed in this tournament.
Wow.
13th
national.
It tells you something about the SEC, right?
That's incredible.
So anyhow, how did you get involved in the sports announcing? That's kind of a cool job you have.
Yeah, if you want to go way back, I don't know if I actually did this or not, but if you can picture the 4-year-old sitting on the couch watching the game with his dad, and then all of a sudden, who are those guys talking? So, and then I became almost as interested in that as what was happening on the field. And so I really became an early student of how plays are called, of what broadcasters sound like, and that was my career path. I ended up in local news rather than play-by-play, but went to Syracuse for college, another orange and blue school. So I covered one. I went to one.
We've had a few games against you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Maryland. I was born in Philadelphia, grew up in Maryland. So, but the story everyone wants to hear is, if you read my bio, you lived in Alaska for 19 years? Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Did you live in the cold part?
Yeah. The cold part, the other cold part, the cold and windy part. Yeah.
Or the coldest part.
The coldest part. I lived in both Fairbanks and Anchorage. Fairbanks for 4 years and Anchorage for 15.
In a broadcasting job?
Yeah, broadcasting sense, all but 2 years. The last 2, I just kind of hung around and applied for jobs and was a professional job seeker. But yeah, right out of college, it was at the era that we were in at the time, was applying for jobs over the internet was new. This was the late 90s, and I was one of a couple dozen or so, maybe not even a couple dozen applicants for a job in Fairbanks. Really small operation, but you got to do every aspect of a job.
So what a change from there to Gainesville. I
Yeah,
can't even imagine.
Well, I'll trade the 8 months of winter for the 8 months of summer after doing it for that long. But the thing I appreciate most about my time up there is that, especially the beginning, you got to refine your skills at every level. I mean, not only the broadcasting itself, but all behind the scenes work with your own photography, your own editing, and I got to make a lot of mistakes that not a lot of people saw. So this was before like social media and all that. So
how'd you wind up in Gainesville?
Well, it's at the end of my time at my previous station, I worked at KTUU in Anchorage for many years, and I think that the situation up there, the economy is not what it used to be. It's very oil revenue dependent, and so things are just changing in terms of the scene up there, just overall, in terms of living, and some of the it's affecting every level. It affects sports as well. I mean, they lost their minor league hockey team that won 3 Kelly Cup championships in the ECHL. I mean, they folded. They couldn't do it anymore.
And I've heard there have been challenges with high schools playing football up there.
No question.
You just don't have the fields.
Yeah. Well, they have the facilities now. Maybe not a couple years ago, but I think and COVID was another setback, of course, too, with being a very northern climate and all that. So. So I just decided to look for jobs at the end of my previous contract, and Gainesville's. Yeah, it took me a while to find one. So, but
Glad
Gainesville's.
you're here.
Yeah, I am too. It's great to be a part of a sports scene here that's so rich and diverse.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on what we have in North Central Florida?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I never covered college football since I was in college until I came here. Alaska's the only state without college football, so. It was good to return to that and cover some real big-time top 10 level teams and programs, and that's across the board at the University of Florida.
It's amazing. All the teams are good.
Yeah. COVID era wasn't. I mean, that kind of shut things down where we're not as close to everything as we used to be, but I think we'll get back to that one day pretty soon here, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of a sports coverage group in this area.
One of the things that we always talk about is the incredible level of success that the Florida Gators sports teams have. What's your perspective on that? Because I mean, football, basketball are big, and
I don't know if there's anybody better across the board. Maybe Stanford, because they have like 35 teams, and Florida doesn't have nearly that many. But in the eastern part of the U.S., it's second to none. I mean, Michigan's up there too in terms of overall across the board success, but. Men's tennis team just won the national championship.
They sure did.
Yeah, men's tennis
and the coach's son was the
coach's
hero
son.
right at the end.
Coach's son,
and
he grew up in Gainesville. He's a local guy, so.
And that was a tight match. I don't know if we won 4-1, but
those
two
other
of the
matches
other
couldn't-
matches we were down, and the coach's son had lost the first set, and. So that was 4-1 made it seem like we rolled over, but it was a tight match.
And you mentioned the softball with super regionals, so they could certainly be bound for Oklahoma City. Track and field not so much this year, but they've had national championships a bunch, indoor and outdoor, over the last 10 years.
So here's a statistic that's interesting. The University of Florida has over 250 championships
SEC titles, yeah.
SEC
First
titles.
team.
Okay,
Yeah.
the next team is in the 150s.
Yeah.
So that gives you some idea. And the SEC is the big dog.
Right.
It is.
So we're the big dog with the big dogs.
So speaking of big dogs, let's talk about these two little trophies. Not little trophies. They're actually pretty
That's
significant
sizable.
trophies.
You guys put some
And
effort into
so,
these.
so let's talk about that and who the winners are.
Well, first of all, for the female Scholar Athlete of the Year, we have Jayla Williams from Hawthorne High School, and her main sport was basketball. She's been playing since the 3rd grade, but she's a 3-sport varsity athlete and has a 3.7 GPA, and we're really excited to have Jayla as our winner. And the coach of Hawthorne High School is an incredible human being. Cornelius Ingram has taken a school.
Man, how about that?
Yeah.
Everybody loves CI, man.
Wow,
See,
Jayla. That's
CI has taken Hawthorne as his, passion in life and elevated that school both in all the sports, basketball and football, and really taken, and it meant so much to Hawthorne to have CI there.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, he's one of those guys. You come home to your high school after playing playing at your local university and being a big star there. It's great to see people like that in your community. And what a last 2 years that school has had. When you talk about the sweeping the state titles in boys and girls basketball in Jayla's
they went to the
junior
finals in football.
Went to the finals in football, and CI coached that team too. So I don't know if anyone's had a 2-year stretch like that. That's tough to beat.
Yeah, he was a keynote speaker at the TV20 Meldon Law Scholar Athlete Awards banquet about 3 or 4 years ago. And if nobody's ever heard him speak, try to get the opportunity. He really delivers a powerful message.
He actually coached the son of one of our longtime employees, Tony Pitt, who is an offensive lineman.
Oh, yeah,
he was a recipient of a weekly Scholar Athlete Award, I believe, and Tony just signed a scholarship to play at UNC, University of North Carolina, Pembroke.
Yeah,
right. So congrats to Tony Pitt, another success story for CI, Cornelius Ingram.
Yeah,
So-
and again, with Jayla, yeah.
So now we're going to move to our male Scholar Athlete of the Year, Drew Leinbach from Dunellen High School. He's a baseball pitcher. He plans to attend the University of North Florida on a scholarship. He has a 4.21 GPA. Chris, I never knew about 4.
I know.
Same here.
I thought a 2.0 was a good score.
Well, the first time I went, 4 years ago to one of our Scholar Athlete banquets at the Hilton, I'm hearing all these people come up with 4.4, 4.3, 4.15, and all that. It's amazing to me, though. The big point is that these are athletes who excel in the classroom. That's just, I know you're very proud of that,
Yeah,
Kevin.
and Drew hit a home run in his last high school at bat. He's an outfielder too when he's not pitching, and he was real happy about that to close out his career on top individually. At least.
Well, what a nice young man. I saw, the feature that TV20 did on him, and it was really inspiring, and that, I think he was involved, he wanted to get involved in the physical therapy for athletes, and his parents were involved in that, and he's really, he's got great stats, a 2.31 ERA, a 3.27 batting average, but I was most taken by his leadership skills.
Yeah, and it's also the second straight winner from Dunellen on the male side. We had Jaquavion Frazier's last year, who's now a wide receiver on the
We love Jay Frazier's
Gator football team.
Yeah, looking forward to him doing some great things.
Well, it just goes to show about the wide net that we broadcast to and all that as well. Dunellen's like an hour from Gainesville, they got viewers out there who were nice enough to call in or to email us and say, hey, we want to promote our athlete.
Well, and TV20's reach has been expanding over the last year or so, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding, yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 outstanding winners, Jayla Williams, the female Scholar Athlete of the Year, and Drew Leinbach. Did I say that?
Leinbach.
Yeah. And maybe we'll have them on the radio show. I know that because of COVID, we weren't able to do the banquet last year or this year. Maybe we'll have them on the radio show soon. And what about in the future? I know there's some big plans for an upcoming banquet.
Yes. We have reserved the Spurrier Gridiron Grill for next May.
Okay.
The Gridiron Grill is going to become the place in North Central Florida to dine, and they're also going to have event rooms, and we are so excited to be part of the whole kind of rollout as far as letting folks know what's coming to Gainesville. This is a museum and a restaurant, something unique to not only Gainesville but the state of Florida.
It's going to be amazing. I, for one, can't wait till it opens. I had the honor of a tour a couple of months ago, and it's even much farther along than it was then. So that's going to be a premier destination.
Yeah, I think Coach was saying on the radio it's going to be the 9th largest restaurant in Florida. That's
yeah, it's going to be huge. And so next year we're talking about going to the top of the restaurant, Visors.
Visors, of course, it's going to go Visors.
Of course, and doing a big scholar athlete banquet, and it'll be so nice after having to skip 2 years of the annual banquet to be able to come out and really do another big production. So we look forward to having you on the dais with us and participating in our, it'll be 2022, it'll be the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, that's a big one.
For our Meldon Law TV 20 Scholar Athlete of the Week award, and it's really been a privilege. I want to tell you how much I appreciate you and the rest of your team going out to each of the high schools and interviewing the people, and that makes such a big difference to their families and their communities.
Yeah, I mean, we have a team, I know we have short on time, but we have a team competing for a state championship today, North Marion, in baseball, and so we have a camera down there for that.
All right, so check out the news on TV 20 at 6, and we'll hear all about that. And hey, what about the Gators? Live to play another day. They're playing Mississippi State tomorrow, so go Gators. And of course, the softball team, they've done extraordinarily well. And like we said in the first half of the show, we will have some tickets available. We don't know exactly what day we'll have them up on the website, but very soon. So stay in touch with us on social media and on meldonlaw.com. What do I have? About 30 seconds left. I want to give a quick for something. We had last week Bob Ganzak on, a very good friend of ours, talking about the Dale Carnegie training in Gainesville. It starts tomorrow, 6 p.m. at Hotel Indigo. If you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up at the door. Check it out. You heard us talk about it last week. You heard us talk about it on the radio show. Jeffrey and I, we're all in with this thing. We love the training. Please check it out and give it a shot.
Just go to Dale Carnegie, Gainesville or Jacksonville, and you will find the information you need. And thank you again for another wonderful edition of Meldon Law and Friends.
Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.